Hello, folks, and welcome to another Bitcoin market analysis by Inspocrypto. Well, first of all, um, before before we go forward, because it seems that you know about the whole change finance thing, it surprised me as well. I thought that that's a big scam. But to be honest, I know the CEO since a while. We had nice chats because just let me be very straight to you. Since a while, I'm very interested to work with them for a future project. Many knows that I'm going to launch with George and Mogul actually our new website. We are working on it and we have much more things behind the curtains that I never mentioned. I will mention it as soon as the time is ready for it, but we will provide a lot of new stuff to the community. Our goal is to maintain and to let growth the community more and more, and to provide more educational stuff, more instruments, more tools to understand what whales are doing and to make even your trades more successful. That's our goal. So yeah, I'm. It's not surprising me that many are in disbelief. So what the hell? Inspo never would chill. No, you are right. I would never do that. But in this case here, I like the idea. Usually you have an agency that's getting money just to react or to activate hundreds and hundreds of different accounts. Sometimes I think they are bots offering you money to show projects. This case it's completely different because the idea behind is you send to someone that appears in a list, you send them money, and as soon he connects his wallet with Twitter, he releases the funds you send to him, but at the same time you will get rewards. That's usually 3 to 5 times of that what you send. It's of course limited. It's not unlimited. So you can't just I think that's 100,000 change per per influencer. That's the max. However, I know it's not scam, and that's the only reason why I shared that. That's the only reason. I was surprised to see that I got that much money because I was receiving in the last few days a lot of different. I mean, I'm receiving a lot of crap every day. Agencies asking for sharing any projects, um, exchanges asking, and so on and so forth. So usually I'm ignoring them, refusing, deleting their messages, whatever. And I did the same with Change. So many people sent me, hey, I sent you money. And I thought that's scam, that's spam. And that's why I sent to Change today indicating, hey, look, I like your project, but I don't like that you are doing exactly the same like the other scam projects. And then they told me that's a contest, that's a promotion, that's a contest where retailers can have some benefits using that promotion at the same time. So, in my opinion, that's a great idea and way to support the community, but at the same time to make marketing. That's what I just shared that and why I'm supporting that. And of course, I know Change because I'm using the wallet since a year, and many of you know I like Fusion. I'm accumulating Fusion since a while as well. It's not a secret. I told you many times in my analysis in the past. So just to make it clear, Inspo wasn't hacked. It's really me, okay? And so You will see that was a just unique moment where I did that, but usually I'm not doing that. Many of you know that. However, let us go forward and let us check what's happening to the markets, because that's what we want to do today, just to check what the markets are doing. And in my opinion, many should just ask, hey, Inspo, what's going on to the market? Could you explain why, for example, Bitcoin is lifting up even more? Yes, I think I can tell you why Bitcoin is doing that. It seems Wall Street is expecting 75 bps today. So in 1.5 hours, we will get the decision by the Fed about the next um, interest rate hike. And I was reading from an American professor of economic his expectations, and it makes sense, unfortunately. Mrs. Yellen already told that the economy is still in the path, still on track. Even if it's reducing its growth, it's still growing. Well, we need to see that the GDP data is going to be released tomorrow. So, not today and not yesterday, of course. So, just to say, okay, let us make 75 bps, it's at least an option, and it would explain why the markets are reacting that bullish at the moment. But in my opinion, and you remember, I have said first a bull trap, afterwards nuke, because Mrs. Yellen is saying the economy is in place, and I tell you, and we will see this, I guess, tomorrow, that the GDP will show us that the economy is not in place like Mrs. Yellen is thinking. So just because we have seen some other data related to the economy and that wasn't really looking like um, it's looking especially good. We know that consumer behavior is looking weak, and some other data also don't look very great. So my expectations is today up, tomorrow we initiate the nuke. Means we will start to dump more and more. So let us see. As usual, make your own and your personal conclusions. Never trade my opinion, only trade my data. So let us go forward. What happened to the weights ratio 30 days moving average? As expected, we are done here. Now it's declining. We are really done. So many are expecting when it's flipping, when it has its reversal, it's over. No, no, no. That's the whole preparation. The preparation is done, and usually now we should start to see the impact. So even if we go up, I would expect tomorrow the dump initiation. We will see. However, if we check here, we also can see that the wealth ratio 30 hours moving average declined, and it's declining even more. It's really indicating at the moment that the weights are sending less bitcoins to decentralized exchanges. At the same time, we can see here, for example, that the stablecoin supply maintains stable. That's a nice wording. However, if we go forward, we can see here that the centralized exchanges has here filled their, in my opinion, their stablecoin reserves, and here that looks very organic in my opinion, and afterwards it declined. I was once again receiving some whale alerts indicating 40, 50 millions USDT withdraw from Binance and several times. So just to mention that. Afterwards, even the 30 hours, the Wells ratio 30 hours moving average is declining. You can see that even these dumps are looking, yeah, well, it's retracing more, so we have a tendency to the upside, and it's also indicating they don't let the price go much more up. So I have called 22.5 to 23K as a potential bull trap and afterwards nuke. So we will have more the data related to GDP. I need to check when it will happen tomorrow. It's going to be okay. So 2:30 Central European time means let me check. Dublin, no, no, no. If we check, for example, GMT -2 would be at 10:30. Use investing.com, use the economic calendar. It's the best thing you can do just to track all these events. It's really important. So they are expecting, that's what they forecasted, that the GDP is going to lift up by 0.5%. Last time it was minus 1.6%. And we know from last week, for example, that we got some really weak data related to consume behavior. And that's one of the engines of the economy. So we will see if that's going to play out. If the data, the GDP, is negative or much lower than 0.5%, meaning 0.3, 0.2, it should trigger what I have mentioned before, a dump phase. Let us go forward and check the inflows. So, what we see here is nothing. We have received stablecoin inflows, correlates with the outflows as usual, so also here nothing big, absolutely nothing. Even the volume is not big enough. I mean, we have received in the past 200, 250 millions. That didn't happen since a while. I mean, the last time was July 18th, that's 10 days ago. And since then it maintains relatively low. Today's, for example, the biggest inflow today was 2 hours ago, 1000 Bitcoin. So absolutely nothing. Many people are expecting, listen, Inspo, we are not receiving any big inflows anymore, so it's over. Up only. Be careful with that. Wales ratio, if it plays out, means they have sent enough bitcoins to the exchanges and they didn't distribute yet. So that means, and that's what I'm insisting and explaining, Wales ratio doesn't mean only because it's going up, they distribute just directly afterwards. Doesn't mean that. That has a different quality in information indicating not only they are sending more bitcoins to the exchanges, so not only indicating you the sentiment of the whales, but at the same time a preparation. All this preparation thing you can see in any chart. That's something that they showed every time, really every time in the past. After it had its reversal, the weights ratio 30 days moving average, after it have started to decline, then the impact to the price happened. And that's something that should happen again. So we can see we are receiving here really low volume to inflows. We had more outflows than inflows, and that's it. That's really absolutely it. So yesterday we had even more inflows than today. Let us go forward. So what we see here is the funding rate, and we can see first of all the leverage ratio is, wow, going up at the moment. However, the funding rate lifted up and is declining. Why why it's declining? Well, what the price is going up. Many people are indicating, and that's an effect we have seen in the past. When the price goes up, many people are expecting the next dump, and so they start to demand more shorts. We will see blockchain whispers if that's also indicating that much more shorts are coming in than longs. That would make me a little bit less bearish. However, I'm still convinced tomorrow is the day. It should start to trigger. I'm really convinced. Let us go forward. Open interest lifting up, as you see, and that's really interesting. If you check here, it matches very well to the leverage ratio. It means that someone is shorting with high leverage, it seems, in my opinion. But because of the open interest lifted up very hard, at the same time the leverage ratio as well. And if we check, for example, at the same time the funding rate dumped once. So indicating someone, it seems, is preparing the dump. I have called yesterday 22.5 to 23. That would be my area, the best optimized zone to short. So as long Bitcoin and SPY is showing some strong moves to the upside, I'm not going to short. As soon as I see it starts to stall, for example, or to struggle, then I will start to short. I will start to short means if we go more up, more I will short, more funds I will add to my short. That's the only thing. I will short this time with volume, but less leverage. Just in case of I'm totally wrong, so that I can at least reduce my position with less, well, a tiny loss maybe. So if we check here, we see the stablecoins. The stablecoin inflow to derivative exchanges maintains relatively low. We had yesterday some, but today it looks really flat. Related to Bitcoin, it looks a little bit different because, of course, we had over the weekend it was absolutely very flat, and now it's coming. Not big anymore. We are not talking about 10, 12,000, 14 like we had in the past, but it's at least looking better than related to spot. 1,800 bitcoins here, and so on and so forth. Also here correlates with outflows, indicating that they are trading short term just to make quick money, and that would match maybe to the funding rate here as well, indicating they are really preparing the next big move. Let us go forward and check what's happening here. Yeah, you remember 60 to 40 yesterday, 53 to 47. So shorts are coming in right now, and we need to see. We really need to see. Um, I really hope they can push, to generate a little bit more FOMO so that we are getting more longs, because in my opinion, that's going to be also part of the plan to have enough longs and then to nuke. If we have more shorts than longs, I don't know. So this one looks still good. This one doesn't look good. Many expecting Ethereum will go down very soon, and as you see, 57, so 43 to 57. That's a long short ratio, indicating people are here maybe too bearish. However, let us go forward and check what the Kingfisher is indicating. As usual, that takes a little bit. So, wow, wow. Between 22, yeah, that's at 22. That's at 22. Okay, that's crazy. That's really crazy. I don't know how that works, but at least that explains the high leverage with the high open interest. So someone is placing here at 22 a big, 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 big short. And we need to see next and the exchange walls if we can see if someone is protecting that area here at 22k. Let us check if FTX is doing exactly the same. Then we have this here, that's on the long part, but it, wow. Looks different, at least on the short side. So someone on Binance is shorting big. And we still have the longs on Binance and FTX. That's exactly the same. But we have on Binance someone, and we will check what the MM entities are doing because I noticed something. I'm not going to make a teaser now, but it surprised me once again. These guys are surprising me a lot at the moment. That's it. Let us go for. So, let us check what the gamma walls are doing. The gamma walls are indicating 22k. Ah, that's nice. It's a big resistance. At 20k, we have a big support. So, yeah, to be honest, it would also match to the high leverage short we have at 22k. Maybe it would make sense to start to short at 22k. We will see. Okay, the GAX maintains relatively neutral at 7,000. We had almost 4,000 yesterday. Now we have 7.5. So indicating we can go up, we can go down. The GAX is not useful here. Let us check here. Bear put spread 350, long put ladder 320, short straddle 230, and long straddle 200. So a nice mix. However, we are getting some bearish trades as well. But also here I had a chat with George today. You know, George is the option expert. That's the option part of the future project Phoenicia. Let us take a look. We will check this one, this one, this one, and this one. So we have four different strategies we will check. He was checking them, indicating he is not sure if that's really bearish. However, let us go forward and check that. So we start with the biggest one, bear put spread, and let us see what is happening there. Let us start with the definition and what it means. To profit from the bear put spread, um, we need a gradual price decline in Bitcoin. So it doesn't mean we are going to nuke, even something that I would expect, but that's actually what it's saying, that we should expect exactly what Inspo is saying. So that would surprise me, to be honest. The maximum profit is realized if the Bitcoin price is at or below the strike price of the short put with a lower strike. So if we take right now, without to think that could be something else behind, if we check that means they are expecting a price below of 19K until this Friday. Well, if that's not sharp, I don't know. I mean, if we go $4,000 to the downside, that, I wouldn't say that's just a little bit, but of course, it's not nuke. It's not what I have in mind, to be honest, because I really think, wow, it's so hard to say that because I was calling 24K since last year, but I think the bottom could be even below of 12,000. It sounds crazy. I know. I really know. Let us go forward and check the short straddle. Okay, so that's actually almost, I wouldn't say the same, but to profit from the short straddle, we need a little or no price movement. And if we check, that's also at least here, even it's not that huge, because it's really not huge. Premium volume, it's indicating that until next week we will maintain, or at least until expiry we will see 21K. So we will go down from today's perspective. Okay, December, I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe it's related to volatility or something, but to make now a trade and indicating 23K until end of the year doesn't make sense in my opinion. Not now. So let us go further to the long put ladder, and we know the long put ladder because we had the long put ladder also yesterday, and it's one, okay, it's one indicating between 19 to 25 until end of the year. So that's actually a trade or a strategy where the trader is expecting a slightly bearish price action and low volatility. So indicating between 1925, maybe even a little bit lower, maybe a little bit higher, but he's expecting below of 25K. That's actually, if without to include other different strategies that could be combined here or something. Long straddle. I mean, we are not talking about huge premium volume, so it's interesting to see the sentiment of option traders, but in my opinion, not really helpful at the moment. The long straddle is exactly the opposite of what we have seen yet. So to profit from it, we need a big price change, either up or down. It doesn't matter. We don't know if, or at least this trader doesn't know if we will go above or below 23,000, but he thinks we will see a price action much more than 23K or much less than 23K. And that's what actually he is indicating here. And that's it. I mean, we can check maybe um, what will. It takes a little bit sometimes. I don't know why. Wow. So we see here, wow, puts 1.4 millions for next week. That's the BTC volume. And if we check here, we have, let me change that. I don't know why sometimes it's taking that much. Hello? Hello? Okay, doesn't work, it seems. However, we have here a lot of puts, and they didn't buy puts 400 at 20k. So, in my opinion, it's indicating we will see until next week a price below of 20k. Even I would think we could go even lower, but let us go forward. So, what we see here, and that was actually yesterday just a check. I just wanted to see if the X CBD is going to bounce when it reaches again their bottom, because that's actually their bottom on CBD, and look, it did. And the most interesting thing is the price is lifting up, and this time they're not quick accumulating. That's really strange, in my opinion, because that's what they did in the past many times. And 22k is here, so we need to go that up to start to liquidate the big high leverage short we have seen on Binance. The aggregated CBD is indicating they were distributing. Right now it looks like a little bit accumulating. We need to see who is accumulating, I guess Coinbase buying, but we will see. Also here, Bitcoin collateral, it's really crazy because they are really shorting all the time, and futures with stablecoin collateral are just driving the price action with the support of the aggregated CBD, of course. Oh, give me just a minute, and we will have here Coinbase, and we can see what Coinbase is doing. So even Coinbase not buying, or it lifted up a little bit, but nothing big. Absolutely nothing big. Let us go forward. We have here Binance distributing it, doing exactly the same like FTX. That's crazy. I wasn't expecting that. I mean, they have still enough ammo, but Bitfinex, yeah, lifting up, selling, sometimes then lifting up again, buying, selling, buying, pump and dump, pump and dump. And we have here the Binance Perp. Let us check that here as well. So the funding rate is declining, the open interest is lifting up. It matches very well to our aggregated funding rate, leverage ratio, and open interest chart on CryptoQuant. While the aggregated CVD for futures coin margin, so the bitcoins are right now, that looks completely different. Something is wrong here. That's 30 minutes. That looks completely different. Ah, okay, yeah, it's only Binance. Okay, sorry. It's not aggregated in that case. It's only showing Binance. Yeah, that it's my setting. Of course. So what it's indicating is on Binance they are longing with Bitcoin collateral, and that's actually what's driving the market right now, with support of spot, of course. If we go forward, we can see what the entities related to MMs, market makers, are doing. Since yesterday, nothing big. If we check here, we see they reduced their balances again. They reached a new low of 4,920,000 bitcoins. That's really big. That's really, really big. And hmm, usually it's really interesting what they are doing because usually the price should dump very hard, and it's not happening. However, I mean, I wouldn't trade only what these entities are doing. We don't know if these guys are sending their bitcoins to OTC, for example, or maybe reducing their entities just and becoming a different entity. That's what we will check just afterwards. This guy's okay maintains. This guy's maintains. These guys are accumulating. Let us go forward and check what the market maker entity. We can take out these guys. I don't care. Yeah, that's it. Exactly. So, yeah, they are reducing their entities, it seems. Lifting up a little bit. Okay, but what's happening to these? Are Let me check if that matches. I mean, these entities are usually exchanges. No, it doesn't match. Doesn't match. That's very, very interesting. Because 96 wallets, that means we have received three more wallets with more than 10,000 bitcoins since a week ago. But the entities with 1,000 to 10,000 bitcoins have now 16 wallets less. They are reducing their balances. They are selling, in my opinion. Wow. Okay, let us go forward. Let us check what Coinbase is doing here. They still waiting at 24.5 and 25. They removed the big wall here, well, big in volume, at 20,500. At 20,000, we still have one at 19.5 and 19. So if we take into account what the option traders, the bearish one at least, were expecting, was a price between 19, 18, maybe something, because it's about puts. Deribit perp, wow. Deribit perp at the moment limiting the way down to 20,800, but at the same time, as you see, also they are protecting at 20k. They are protecting. You remember 20k, the high leverage short? Hmm. But at the same time, still waiting here at 23, 3 and 24. Bitstamp spot, only to the downside. Almost nothing to the upside. Binance Spot. Wow, what's happening here? Binance removed its wall at 20,400 and has one at 24, between 24 and 25. At the same time, waiting at 20,500, but the biggest one here is at 20,000, 20,000 and between 19.5 and 19. Wow. Bitfinex. Bitfinex spot just limiting here right now at 21,800. Also here 20,000 and 19,000, 18,000 and so on and so forth. FTX perp. Wow. Okay, FTX. They are removing here some walls to the upside. They are here at 19,250 waiting. I think they are ready for the downside. Kraken. Limiting the way up at 23,000. Limiting the way down 20,500 and below. Bitmax. 25,000. Little wall at 20,400. Another one at 19,800. They removed the wall at 20. Bitfinex derivatives. Wow. 22,300. Now it's the question, because to the downside, for example, like we can see here, they place these walls, it seems, to let them absorb. The question is, what are these walls making there? Are they waiting to go up to absorb them? But if that's the case, they would liquidate the big 22k short. Look that here. Wow. Okay, that's not that big. But sometimes if you check Bitfinex, that's Bitfinex perp. 10 Bitcoin, 20 Bitcoin. That's Bitfinex has the second biggest BTC reserve. But the volume is so low, I will never get that, how that works. Because if we check the Bitcoin distribution, the biggest one is Binance, the second one is Bitfinex. But compare the volume between the exchanges. It's crazy. But also here shorting, at the moment at least. Shorting, shorting, shorting. And someone told me that Bitfinex whales are reducing longs and shorting as well. So also here, be careful. I'm bearish. I'm so convinced that we will nuke really soon. Really, really soon. 21,500, limiting the way down at the moment. It seems they placed a new one, so they want to let the price there. The question is why? FTX spot. Wow, FTX. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, nothing here, but let us check on Bitfinex derivatives. Look. That was what I was looking for. So 20,800 almost. And the last one is Binance Perp, and Binance Perp mostly limiting the way up 23.6 and 24.6. A lot of orders also at 23 and a lot here and a lot here. So wow, a lot of stuff. I still holding my spot. I went, I'm very transparent. I just went all in on Atom yesterday. I sold my Q&T with a nice gain, and now making a nice gain with Atom as well. But just waiting, I mean, it seems that Binance is letting the price go up. I mean, usually you can see that here. That's algos working right now. They are inviting the price to go more up. And so they are expecting 21,800 next. Usually they should push up the price like they are doing right now. They are pushing the orders up and the price, you see that. You can see that very well. It's so controlled, everything. It's really so controlled. Sometimes I think that doesn't have anything to do with supply and demand. It's purely algos, and at least on Binance Perp that's really incredible, but at the same time very interesting because they can show you their trends. And for example, I can see here very clearly they want to push up even more. So we are not done. We will go up a little bit more. The question is if 22 is the max, taking into account the big high leverage short there, I can imagine that. Let us go to my personal conclusion. Well, first of all, we know that we have actually. First of all, it's in my opinion clearly that we will go at least to the 1870. That's the next POC we have there. Um, we of course we have a 22,400 would be the next big support resistance, and we have a 22,700 the big POC. I mean that would be the next bigger POC. We check. Okay, if we zoom out a little bit, we can see we are reaching right now. It seems I would say that's 21,300, the next bigger POC, but if we can go up more, and 21,700 is now working as a nice resistance. We have a 22k. We know we have a gamma call wall that's going to work like a resistance. At the same time, we have a POC here, also at 21,850. It's going to be very hard. I need to reduce my expectations. I thought we could see 22.5 to 23k as a bull trap. Doesn't look like. I think 22k could be it. Could be really it. Depends today what in 40 minutes the Fed is going to announce and what SPY is going to do. Depends. I mean, DXY could go up. I'm still missing the retest of 108. And I mean, look the volume. Someone is pushing the price down. Otherwise, such a volume wouldn't be possible. Bitcoin Tether pair 12,000 Bitcoin volume. It's a lot. Let us take a look. Well, 5,000 Bitcoin sold at 12,000 volume is not that big, to be honest. But SPY need a retest to go more up, so it should go down again. So go down, retest here on the POC, and then go up more. That's something we need to see if that's going to happen. Bitcoin should at least receive enough buy pressure to lift up if they want. but we know 22K, and we are very close to the 22K. So I will wait a little bit more. I know 22K, between 21,800 and 22K could be the local top. Maintain there until tomorrow. Even go down even more. Maybe holding then something 21,500 or something. I was expecting a nice bull trap. At the moment, doesn't look like. So everything is now in the hands of SPY and SPX. You know, SPX, I have said, it will dump very hard. Didn't happen yet. It will dump very hard. It will. I am so convinced it will dump very hard. And Bitcoin, we need to see. I'm going to short definitely, and I think I will see. I would like to see a really, you know, push hard and aggressive up, even if they are going to push the price down afterwards, but to let them trigger a short at 22K and wait there. If it goes up even more, add more funds. But I'm not going to long that. Absolutely not. That's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed. It was insightful. As usual, please, please, please don't trade my opinion, only trade my data. You know, we can see on Binance we have a high leverage, big volume short, it seems. We know that FTX didn't accumulate it quick. That's really strange. We know that Bitcoin CBD is also not accumulating. Both are distributing. That's really strange. I mean, if they want to sell more, it makes sense. Don't to buy and accumulate more because they have enough bitcoins and to dump. Be very careful. It's going to be very volatile just when the Fed starts to talk and when they announce what's going to happen with the next rate hike. But in my opinion, we will go up even more than to the downside at the moment. I don't think this 22K big short with high leverage is just a trap. Or my next theory, they want to liquidate them to push even more up. Mm, I don't know. I would struggle here. However, for tomorrow, I'm extremely bearish because taking into account all the data I have seen just in the past few weeks, I really can't imagine that the GDP looks perfect and looks good. I think it's going to look worse than they are forecasting. You know, inflation is just transitory. Big love, be careful. We see us tomorrow. And no, my account wasn't hacked. Bye.